Amazing! Amazing!
Amazing!
Come on, man!
face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. It's Friday. Good morning, y'all. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773 888-77 Jesse, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, the biblical question, and it's a doozy. When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something? When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something? Isn't that an amazing question? Yes, Jesse, that is an amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and you can't sit right now and just watch the JLP talk live right now, you can podcast, of course. You can be listening on your iPhone while you're doing what you're doing that you know that you're doing. All right? You can call the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, ring the bell, hit the like button, subscribe, pass the word around, whatever it takes. You can listen on cozy.tv/JLP and JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. And don't forget to do all the things. Y'all know what to do. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Buy me a coffee.com/JLP Talk. Buy me a coffee.com/JLP Talk. And Rebuilding the Man. Rebuilding the man.com. All right? Amazing. So it is Friday. It is Friday. It's Open Line Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached. because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
We will never accept hateful rhetoric in our city. Any rhetoric that is divisive, any rhetoric that uplifts white supremacy, we are pushing back against that in all its forms. Marjorie Taylor Greene needs to take her back to Washington.
I'm angry, I'm disturbed, I'm sad.
Democratic Congressman Jamal Bowman is under investigation for pulling a fire alarm in the House Cannon office building. Bowman was identified by security footage.
I'm very sorry, and I'll never pull the fire alarm when there isn't a fire again. The end.
Man, it look like Bowman. What the? Amazing. Thank you, Anchor Baby. Last night, we had the monthly men's forum. And I know I say it all the time, but it's just true. It was a blessing. It was a miracle. It was amazing. I can't find the words. It was so amazing, right? I can't find the words to say. Everybody in the daddy showed up, but it was amazing. It really, really was. It went over and everything. And so I got to bed really late last night, and I closed my eyes only for a moment, and the moment was truly gone.
What the?
Did you go to bed late too?
Oh, yeah.
You closed your eye for a moment and the moment was gone?
Well, it takes such a while to wind down after such a miracle.
It sure does. It's like you just can't go home and just jump into bed. What the? It was amazing fellowship last night with the men. If you were not there, may God have mercy on your soul. It was really amazing. It was mind-blowing. Anyway, it's a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. And in order to deal with this spiritual battle, in order for someone else to deal with it, another spirit to deal with the darkness inside of everybody, you must enter into the kingdom of heaven. Otherwise, you will be outside of the kingdom of heaven, trying to fight your own battle, and it ain't going to work. Everything you do, everything you decide, which is not you making decisions anyway, will always be wrong. So why spend a lifetime being wrong? Why not enter into the kingdom and be right and be guided by that? Everybody don't have to wait till they're too old. You can do it right now. Our government, the media, everybody's the same. It's the same spirit. They're just doing a different type of job, but they're having the same battle. Remember the wall when the Great White Hope was in office? He was working on the wall going up. He was working on the wall. And the Democrats and some of the right-old Republicans and the media did everything they could to prevent Donald Trump from working on the wall. Everything. And so Donald Trump time ended. Biden, the crazy people elected Biden, and the wall stopped. Not only did it stop, they even cut a portion of the wall, a hole in the wall, pretending that they want to let some animal thing go in and out of it. But it's just been a mess. Everybody and their mama have been invited to illegally cross into our borders. And believe me, the trouble that's already happening, but the trouble to come as a result of that, you know, the Christians are waiting for the end time, and they say it's going to be Armageddon, something like that. Well, it's going to be Armageddon here in America. It's already happening. You think you got it bad with the Armageddon that's imposed upon the country by the blacks. Wait until they mix it up with the illegal aliens, because they have criminals and drug dealers and drug addicts and everything coming in from all over the world. Allah Akbar people, everything. Chinese, coming in. It's going to be Armageddon. And if you don't overcome your father's state, you won't be able to handle it. You will not be able to handle it. The fear will be overwhelming, and the attacks upon you will be overwhelming. I'm warning you, it is coming. It's bad, bad, bad now, but it ain't over yet. And then all of a sudden, the elections are coming up, right? Joe Biden, the Democrats are low in the poll. They look like they're losing. And they're desperate for whatever they can get to stay in power. They're talking about forgiving the student loans. They're talking about all these different programs. They're talking about all of a sudden, after saying that they would never build the wall, they were not going to build the wall, all of a sudden, they're talking about building the wall now. Because they want to deceive you, and hopefully by the time it's time to vote, you will have forgotten about everything. But the even in talking about building the wall, they're talking about a few feet. They're not even talking about the whole wall all the way to the end. It's just something to make you think that they care about you. And then the economy is bad. They keep telling you that it's not bad. Spending our money in Ukraine like crazy and doing nothing for Americans. Nothing but trying to destroy them in order to get control. It's all about control. And if they can get you to overreact, if they can get you to overreact, then they got you. So all of a sudden, Joe Biden is flip-flop, right? Oh, we're going to build a wall. Yeah, right. And it's Armageddon, not Armageddon. Armageddon. It's happening already, but it's going to get worse. So all of a sudden, the Democrats talk about building a wall, at least Joe Biden. This is from Breitbart. Biden pledged during his 2020 race that he would not build any more wall. On Thursday, Joe Biden defended plans to extend the wall. He didn't think barriers would work, but that he was bound by laws introduced under Donald Trump. Watch this from CBS.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration is authorizing the building of fresh new border barriers.
The decision is an abrupt reversal on his campaign pledge to stop border wall construction. The White House is waiving more than 24 federal laws in southern Texas, many of which pertain to environmental and wildlife protection, to try and pave the way for this border wall construction.
President Biden, during the 2020 campaign, condemned former President Trump's border wall in very strong terms, and on his first day in office actually issued an executive order halting border wall construction and preventing funds from the Department of Defense from being diverted for this purpose.
They took it down to make room for the new wall. This was all President Trump's wall that was going to go up, all the material that was going to go in this place. And it was wide open. Joe Biden took over and said, we're not putting that wall up. We're just going to let that rot out here in the desert. And so they put this temporary garbage up that does absolutely nothing. And you can see right here, they just bend the stuff back. They just fold it back right here. They've got a cinder block, and all day long, you've got illegals coming through here.
Amazing. So do what you want, but I wouldn't believe that they're going to put a wall up. They're just saying it because of desperation to stay in power. They're desperate. I wouldn't believe it. They have not been honest about anything yet. And then they make you believe that they are being honest. Isn't that amazing? And some people are crazy enough to believe it. But it's insane, but I understand it. It's just another attempt to make you think that they're doing something for you finally so you can vote for them. And if you do, the next 4 years, you haven't seen hell. The next 4 years will make these past 4 years, or however long you've been there, look like paradise. Armageddon is quickly growing in America. That's what happened to Mommy Africa. They're having it over there already, and it's a mess. And it's a mess here. It is a mess here. And it's going to get worse because it's evil. The human heart is evil. And don't even attempt to make evil look good. Evil is evil. Anger is your bitter enemy. Anyone that has anger is a son or daughter of evil. A son or daughter of evil. Examine yourself to see what evil, anger is doing to your life. Look how miserable you are, and you call it life. The government is the same. There are people with the devil that the devil has made a home in, and he's doing the same thing to them. So I wouldn't fall for it. Do what you want. You cannot trust the Democrats, period. And you can't trust the right or Republicans or the media. You can't trust an angry person. Amazing, huh? Remember when crooked Hillary Clinton called Republican voters deplorables? Well, she's back again. I don't fear no ways charred. I come too far to turn around now. At a black church, right? Sounded like the blacks. And when she was doing that, the blacks were like, yeah, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Have mercy, Jesus. I don't fear no ways charred. I come too far to turn back now. Praise the Lord. The black was applauding, and she was up there making a mockery of them. The last thing that's on Hillary Clinton's mind is God. The last thing is God. Hillary loved money and power too much, and ain't no God going to get in the way of that. Well, now she want the supporters of Donald Trump deprogrammed. This is from Fox. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called for a formal deprogramming for many supporters of former President Trump during a new CNN interview. Watch this from CNN.
Wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog of the Republican Party as it is today? Mm-hmm. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
Wow. The kettle is calling the pot black. They need deprogramming. Something. What's wrong with you people? All the lies we have told about Trump, all the attack on Trump, and they still support him. What the? Doesn't that sound kind of like a dictatorship or something where they try to deprogram the folks? And they can't get the people to do what they want them to do, so they send them to a programming camp, deprogramming camp. Doesn't it sound something like that? That's what happened to the blacks. Not all, but most. They went to the deprogramming camp of the civil rights movement, and they're still living in a daze. A few are starting and have overcome it, but most have not. They've been deprogrammed because prior to the civil rights, so-called civil rights movement, one of the worst things that ever happened to the blacks. Prior to that, the blacks were thinking and doing for themselves. They were not begging. They were not blaming. They were not robbing and stealing and carjacking and breaking into stores and all that, people homes and things like that. But the civil rights movement happened, and it's just been downhill ever since. And that deprogramming, well, they were being deprogrammed from individuality, from common sense to insanity. And now if you try to deprogram them, you become an enemy. You become an enemy. I wondered out loud, and then I take some calls and super chats. It's open line Friday. I'm wondering out loud, do we still have freedom of speech in this country? Think about it. Do we still have it? Over in Switzerland, it seems as though they don't have it. It's a mess. They have lost, if they ever had, I don't know if they ever had freedom of speech in Switzerland. I'm sure they did. But not no more. No more they don't. This is from the New York Post. A court in Switzerland sentenced a writer and commentator to 60 days in jail for the crime of defamation, discrimination, and incitement to hatred after calling a journalist a fat lesbian. Watch this. Oh no, we have a picture of it. I guess this journalist called this person a fat lesbian, and he had to go to jail. He or she had to go to jail. If that hasn't happened here in America, it is. It will happen. You can rest on it. He had to go to jail And it's been reported that he was a white man. What the? Let's begin. Poor white people. They are under attack in their own country. I don't know if the woman is a lesbian or not, but the guy, even if he was, it didn't call for jail, right? Amazing. It's a spiritual battle, folks. 888-775-3773. Let me go out to Texas and talk to Anna out of Texas. Anna, get it off your chest.
Hi, Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning. Come closer to your phone.
Okay. How's this?
That's much better.
Okay. I was just looking for advice on how to control your emotions.
Overcome anger. You cannot control them. As long as you have anger, it will control you because it's a spirit. You have to
noticed it.
You have to overcome anger.
Yeah, I noticed it really affects my relationships.
Yeah. In what way?
Like if I don't hear from my boyfriend, I start overthinking. And like if I don't stop myself, it can become really destructive, and I'll like blow up his phone or something. And even though I know it's the wrong decision, I still make it.
And why do you think you are making that decision, a wrong decision? Why do you think it's you?
Well, I know the difference between right and wrong on how not to act. And once I let those thoughts get to me, it's almost like impulsive. It's like a defense mechanism or something. And then I end up ruining it all because it's not a good look, I guess, in a relationship to act that way. And it pushes him away, you know?
Of course. And do you want to act that way?
No, not at all. Like, I want to be able to trust him fully.
And so, go ahead.
And I think because of, things like in the past, like he has a son, and there's been like stuff in the past between us, it's just hard to open myself up again to trust fully.
It's hard to trust fully.
Yeah.
Let me ask, can you be trusted?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
So if you can be trusted, why do you call him and harass him then?
I'm not too sure. Is it like...
Because you've said over and over that you would never do it again, right?
Yeah.
And yet you do it again.
Right.
And so you don't trust him. And why do you trust yourself?
I believe I try and do the right thing.
You can't do the right thing.
Yeah, and it seems like I always, like when it comes to my emotions, I always end up choosing the wrong thing.
I'm sorry?
When it comes to my emotions, I always end up choosing the wrong thing.
And you know why that is, right?
Mm-mm.
Because emotions are evil. And when you listen to emotions, the thoughts and emotions, you're worshiping the devil.
Yeah.
Anna, can you hold on? He what?
He tells me all the time, like, you need to, like, you're very over-emotional, you overreact, like, you need to just relax and just be still and be patient.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, Anna. Let me take a quick break, all right?
Okay.
888-775-3773. There's a line open if you want to jump in. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. Number one, the Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. Did you all catch Hake debate last night? It was amazing. He was truly on fire. If you didn't hear it yesterday evening, you can podcast the show, the Hake report /appearances, and you can hear it. You will not be disappointed. But the Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning from 9 to 11 Pacific time. And then at 12 noon Pacific time, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. I had a very enjoyable and interesting conversation with David Nino Rodriguez. And David is a former heavyweight boxing champion, a best-selling author, and a host of Nino's Corner TV. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Throughout my boxing career, being a raging alcoholic.
You want a glass of Merlot right now? No. You used to drink wine. What's wrong with a little wine?
I almost died twice. I overdosed on drugs, flatlined. I saw my funeral. I thought I was Superman. I thought I could do anything and nothing would happen.
Do you date white women or Mexican women? You date black women too?
I have.
Oh, God.
I love this show already. I'm with a girl right now. Her family's from Montenegro.
Montenegro?
Montenegro.
Montenegro?
Albania.
Oh.
This is the craziest interview ever. I love it though. It's good.
Amazing. That's at 12 noon today. Had you heard of Montenegros?
Yes.
Montenegro?
Montenegro. I didn't know. Was he saying that it's in Albania?
It sounds like it. Where is it?
I don't even know. I don't even know. It's a good question.
Where is it, Hassan?
It's a Balkan country?
I've never heard of that.
Montenegro?
Montenegro.
Montenegro.
It's a country in the Balkans, according to Google, which is evil.
And where is
the Balkans?
Yeah, the Balkans.
Huh?
Where is that? You don't know that?
No, I don't know much about geography.
Oh.
It's a region in Europe.
Oh, okay. Or whatever. But
that's what I say.
So you can support the Fallen State by going to the FallenState.tv/donate and locals.com, right, /JLP.
I think it's JesseLeePeterson.locals.com.
JesseLeePeterson.locals.com. And we are having fellowship on Sunday. Fellowship this Sunday for everybody and their mama. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time and meet us at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, we start at 11 a.m. Pacific Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Time if you want to watch it online at rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Let me go back to Anna, who is driving her boyfriend crazy with her emotions. So, Anna, just think about this. You don't want to do this, right? But you find yourself doing it anyway.
Yeah, and then it's like afterwards, I feel so horrible. Like I'm so sorry. Like I gave into that again. I behaved impulsively. Like I shouldn't have done that. And he's just kind of like, Ari, what the heck? Like, you need to get it together. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you if you're going to continue to act this way.
Nice. Is it possible that something else is making you do the things that you don't want to do?
Like an outside influence or within?
Within.
I was thinking maybe insecurity, but I'm not too sure.
Just think about this. You're doing things that you don't want to do that would bring trouble upon you. It's not anything good, and it makes you do things to hurt yourself.
Right.
If you were in control, would you ever do things like that to hurt yourself?
No.
So is it possible that something else is driving you?
Yes.
And that have your boyfriend ever told you what that is?
Mm-mm.
Have you heard me say it?
No.
How old are you?
24.
Oh, okay. Anna, you're living in your imagination and thoughts, and all thoughts are all lies all the time. And you're being driven by evil. And every time you listen to it and you do what it says, you are worshiping evil. You're worshiping the devil. You have made him your God. And he sounds like you. He feels like you, but it's not you. But it's the God that you serve, which is Satan. He lied to you, and he says, where's your boyfriend now? He's out with someone else. And then...
Right, like he hasn't talked to you all day.
Right.
He hasn't called you all day.
Yeah. And then it tell you, text him, call him. And when you do it and he doesn't respond, the devil just work your mind even more, so it drives you crazy. And then by the time you see your boyfriend, you're yelling and blaming and giving him attitude, and you don't even know if it's true or not. You just believe the lies in your imagination, in your head.
Right.
And the lies bring on the emotions and everything.
And I heard yesterday your video about fear.
Yeah.
And how there is no fear in perfect love. So how can you love someone if you have all this fear, if you're not of love?
The one thing I can absolutely promise you, anyone that has fear does not love you at all. They may feel emotional and they call that love, but that's hate. So no one you don't love your boyfriend at this point. You feel emotional about it because your heart is wicked. And you're living in your imagination.
So if I work on things, does that mean, I might have to let it go? Or can I still work through things with him?
No, it's not going to work until you overcome evil, until you enter into the kingdom of heaven inside. Right now you're on the outside of that kingdom and you're living in hell. Do you want to overcome the hell?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
You got to go and forgive your mother for recreating you in her image. And turning you away from your father.
What if you've done that already?
If who done what?
If I've forgiven my mother already.
You went and forgave her?
Yeah.
And what'd you say to her?
I told her, kind of the advice you gave, and I kind of told her, Mom, growing up, there were things that I didn't need to know about between you and Dad, and fighting and the cheating and all of these things that I was exposed to. That wasn't right.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you that I'm sorry for being so angry with you, and that I love you. At first she was hurt. She felt really hurt.
She wasn't hurt. She didn't want to accept the truth.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone tell you that they were hurt from that, they're saying that I don't want to accept the truth. I hate the truth.
Yeah. And, she immediately went to my dad, well, your father, he did this. And, I'm like, I know, but I'm talking about us, me and you.
Nice. See how evil she is? She still want to blame your father on, and you have nothing to do with what was going on between your father and her.
Yeah, I really didn't. And I didn't realize that until I heard it from you because, she tried to kind of like get me to, I don't know, take sides or give advice or try and be like a mediator. And at the time I was 13, and it really morphed my view on relationships growing up. And now, here I am. I'm struggling with them, like struggling with my emotions on how to not overreact.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to be like her, I see that I am.
And that's what all mothers do to the children, the boys and the girls. They recreate the boys and the girls in their image, and from innocent to evil, and they blame it on the father.
Yeah, and my dad, he's a great person.
Yeah.
He's always positive. He's always telling me, just be the light. You just have to be the light for the world. That's our job. And you have to not let the little things get to you because there's always trying to get you down, get your emotions down, get your feelings down.
Yeah.
And, and I trust my dad, like, with his advice and his words.
Nice.
Are
you doing the silent prayer?
I honestly fall off of it every time. I do it for a few days and then I stop.
Well, suffer and die. What the?
Yeah, that's really what it feels like. It really feels like I'm suffering already.
And it is. Anyone that has anger is suffering. They are in misery. Unfortunately, most people love their suffering because they call it life, but it's really death. It's spiritual death, but they call it life. Here's what I recommend. Since you have gone and forgiven, that you commit to doing the silent prayer every morning, every night, and during the day. Bring when you're caught up in the imagination, bring your mind back to your body. Your body is always present, and that's where God is. That's where the truth is. That's where life is. That's where the kingdom of heaven is. So you got to work on that, and so that you can stop believing thoughts. And then once you stop believing thoughts, the emotion will disappear as well.
So if you live life with doubting every thought and all thoughts are lies, how do you deal with situations in life? Is it
you would deal with
wrong?
You would deal with them perfectly. You would deal with them without thinking or feeling anything about it.
So they'll figure itself out, basically?
It will always work out on your behalf because you will have turned it over to God instead of letting the devil rule over you, and God will always work it out for you. Because he loves you, he is love, you will be walking in love, walking in the spirit of love, and it will always work out for you.
Yeah.
But you got to overcome evil.
Yeah. I just don't know if I should let this relationship go or not. I feel like I'm causing more harm.
Well, don't even worry about that at this point. You work on yourself, and you will see the right thing to do.
Okay. So it has to all start with me, basically.
It all starts with you. There's nothing your boyfriend or anyone, Jesse Peterson or anyone can do for you. It starts with you. And your boyfriend is not to blame for it because you were already screwed up when he met you.
True. Yeah, I know. And I guess we're both on the same boat. He has a lot of issues with his biological dad, too. And, you know, he has a stepdad. So, like, I try to be so understanding of both of our situations and how, like, we both get over-emotional sometimes.
Well, I want you to know that emotions are evil whenever you believe thoughts, whether they feel good or feel bad. They're both imposters. They're both evil.
Right. Yeah, and it's every time we're both done, like, in our emotions or whatever, we're like, what the heck are we doing? Like, we're supposed to be on each other's team, trying to build a life together. And it's like when we are in our emotions, we do the complete opposite.
Everyone does. That's why relationships don't work. Even for the people who get married in the hell that they're in, all they ever do is fight one another. And then they have children, and then they destroy the children. And the cycle repeats itself generation after generation after generation because they both, the husband and the wife, are trying to get something from one another that they don't have. And that is love. They don't have love. And when they first meet and they start having sex and everything, they call that love. But once they get married, they realize that was not love. But they want more of that good feeling and they can't get it, and they fight one another.
Yeah.
So
yeah, even when I'm all emotional, he's like, "This is not you. Like, this is not who you are. You need to come back to yourself because you're somebody else right now."
Yep.
And I never really understood that until I listened to you, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
I want to recommend.
It's not a part of me."
I want to recommend that you stop calling those thoughts and emotions you or yours, because they are not you and they are not yours. That's the nature, the abnormal nature that you have to overcome to the normal nature, which is of God. But that is the nature of evil, and it's not you at all. But if you keep claiming it as you are identifying with it, and it feels like it's you, and you're going to fight with it, it's not you at all. So stop calling my emotions and my thoughts, and I do this and I do that. You're being driven. It's not you. It's something else driving you in your imagination and emotions. And it's the same spirit that's in your mother, and she passed it on to you. Because she doesn't have love either. She only has hatred, and she called that love.
Right. I know. I asked her if she would ever forgive her mother, and she's like, "I can't.
Yeah.
I can't." And I'm like, "Wow, that's speaks volumes to me."
Yep.
Of what's going on in her life, like her heart.
And I would continue to work on myself, do the silent prayer, and just watch those thoughts. They're gonna overwhelm you at times, but that's only because you've been identified with them for so long. But eventually, they become weaker and 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 weaker. And they disappear. And you shall be free.
Yeah, it really does feel like you're in a prison with your thoughts.
Yeah, you are. You're living in this prison, and in your cell, you're going around in the cell trying to get answers, thinking that the next answer will be better than the last one, and you're getting the same answer repeated itself over and over again, and you think that you keep trusting evil, darkness over the light. I got to run. I'm looking. I didn't realize time was going by. I got to run, but I wanted to encourage you to do the silent prayer, and watch those thoughts, And even you have to say to yourself, that's not my thought. Why would I be thinking this? Why would I be feeling this way? I would never make myself feel, who is this? What's going on? When you start questioning it, the light will guide you. It is not you. It's never been you. You would never do the things to hurt yourself in this way.
Very true.
So do the silent prayer, watch those thoughts, stay with it, and don't worry about the relationship at this time. Whatever happens, you'll be able to deal with it. It'll be fine.
All right, Jesse. Sounds good.
All right, let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay, I will. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Super chat. Super chat.
Good morning. Over on Buy Me a Coffee, someone bought you 3 coffees. In a marriage, should the man ever apologize during a fight just to appease the wife when he has done nothing wrong?
No. Never, ever, 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 ever. The worst thing you can do, amongst many worse things, is to appease your wife. Or the wife appease the husband. It's devastating. No, don't do that.
Love the show, guys. Keep up the good work. God bless. 100 emoji.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No Fear, Just Faith bought a coffee. Shout out to Hake on his debate last night. Thank you. I didn't watch the entire show. I couldn't endure the PowerPoint presentation Jen gave for her opening statement. She was the gal on my side. What an evil woman, he says. Jesse, my hope is... But she made some good points, I thought.
Yeah, she did.
Jesse, my hope is in this country has been restored. Pop singer Taylor Swift is dating football star Travis Kelce. If they get married, they'll make lots of grade A super white babies. Plus, more of the blacks in Chicago and New York City will be voting for Trump in 2024. The illegal immigrant mess is the wake-up call they needed. God is good and all is well.
Well, I don't know about the country coming back, but you're right about God. And I can't imagine Taylor Swift having a baby, but if she does, I doubt, and I could be wrong, if she has more than 2 or maybe 3. That's about it.
Yeah, she is in her 30s now.
Right, but I can't even. Okay, thank you.
Over on D Live, Games for Rec donated a diamond. No coffee over here, but we do have lemonade. Thank you for the lemons.
Thank you.
Over on Buy Me a Coffee, Ada, daughter from God, bought 33 coffees. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ali bought a coffee. Biblical question answer.
When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
Because I'm worshiping my father, the devil. What the?
What the? Amazing. So we got to take a break.
Okay.
And we'll finish when we come back. 888-775-3773. Thank you. 2 more hours to go. We're going to get to everybody and their mama. The Hake news, not the fake news, but the Hake news is coming up, and I'll be back in a moment, folks. 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Mama government fighting with the airbag company or car companies over exploding airbags that have killed at least one person and maybe many others. And Biden building a wall, just like our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, who's waiting for an apology. This is the end of hour one of the J.C. Peterson Show. It's Express Yourself Friday, October 6th, 2023 AD. There is one line open. You can call in right now to get on hold and get on air with JLP. He will get to your calls. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Airbag recall. Common Nonsense Network CNN reports the U.S. government wants 52 million airbags recalled over concerns they could potentially explode in a crash. However, the companies that put them in cars argue the broad recall would be simply unprecedented, considering just 7 isolated incidents have occurred. The airbag in a 2015 Chevy Traverse crossover SUV killed one guy's mother. She had cuts and bruises on her face and shoulder and a fatal gash in her neck. She bled out, unfortunately. Inflators reportedly ruptured in a 2002 Chrysler Town & Country and a 2004 Kia Optima. I don't know what year exactly, but it prompted a 2015 investigation by NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, whatever. More incidents happened in subsequent years. Investigating airbags made between 2000 and 2018. In May 2023, General Motors recalled 1 million GM vehicles with airbags. You may recall that. NHTSA pointed out that they requested Takata recall 67 million airbags in 2014, I guess that was. Seems more recent than that. Wow. Following explosions in only 6 of them. There were ultimately more explosions. Takata's situation was different in that the ruptures were the result of chemicals in the inflators breaking down over time, particularly in areas with high heat and humidity. And this is a inflator issue or something. I don't know. What a mess. Biden building a wall after all. Common Nonsense Network and the Skim report, the far left females at the Skim. The Biden administration announced Wednesday plans to expand a U.S.-Mexico border wall despite President Joe Biden vowing as a 2020 candidate that he would not build another foot. Earlier this week, Obama Part 3 administration, that's Sleepy Joe, waived 26 federal laws in Starr County, Texas, to add about 20 miles of border wall. The Department of so-called Homeland Security, DHS, announced they're waiving federal laws like the Clean Air Act, Safe Drinking Water Act, and Endangered Species Act to speed up the building process and stop high illegal entry into the United States. The president defended his reversal to reporters Thursday, saying he tried to get the money appropriated for other purposes, but was unsuccessful. A new surge of so-called migrants straining federal and local resources, placing heavy political pressure on Sleepy Joe administration to address the sprawling crisis. Illegal entries in the United States reached 245,000 this fiscal year, nearly 250,000, and those are the ones they detected. And cities are struggling with the so-called migrant arrivals. The administration said they're trying to divert the money being used to build the wall, but the Congress has refused the request. Representative Henry Cuellar, Democrat from Texas, called the border wall a 14th century solution to a 21st century problem. Shut up. Environmentalist mamas see it as a blow to the habitats of endangered plants and species. Trump, as you may recall, rallied behind the phrase, build the wall, in 2016, waiting for his apology because Sleepy Joe's following through with what Trump knew was the thing to do. The U.S.-Mexico border spans 1,951 miles, with the Trump administration, according to the far-left females at the Skim, covering 4% of the wall, building 4% with the wall. Don't ask me how they got that number. Try 25%. Trump built nearly 500 miles, replacing dilapidated areas that didn't cover anything. Squat. The Skim pushing fake news. Now the Biden administration is reversing years of pushback to add just 20 miles. So it's a wall with an asterisk. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. It is Friday. We had an amazing men's forum last night. It was so amazing that it went past 9 o'clock. And by the time I finally went home and got in bed, I closed my eyes only for a moment, and the moment was gone. And I was like, what the? Amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week. When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something? When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, busy, doing what you're doing, and you can't sit and watch the show, and you're thinking, I'm a podcaster, JLP talk a little later, you can still be listening on your iPhone or iPad, laying up at a beach, lifting weight, having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or supper, whatever you may be doing. Trying to get across the border really fast because you heard that Joe Biden's going to build a wall, but he's really not going to build it. You can be listening on your iPhone or iPad. Call the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. Follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. It's Friday. It's a Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is the second hour of the show. It is Express Yourself.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Who did that?
Who did that? Who did that?
We will never accept hateful rhetoric in our city.
Confront him. That's the hateful man.
I'm too scared to tell him.
Any rhetoric that uplifts white supremacy.
Will you nominate an African-American woman?
The answer is yes.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen.
But we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Who can stop this sharp menace?
I'm scared.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Nice. Wow. The Anchor Baby put that together. The Anchor Baby. Amazing. I hadn't seen it. It's my first time too. Amazing. Nick did that. They don't call him the Anchor Baby for nothing. And he don't feel no ways tired. He feel like going on.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
I don't believe it. He brought me this far to leave me now. I don't believe it. I don't feel no ways tired. The anchor baby don't feel any ways tired. If you doubt me, watch his show this evening at 4 p.m. Pacific time. He's going to be flying high. But not off pot, not off fentanyl, not off HDD, but the natural energy that comes from God. At 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. Amazing. Let's finish the Super Chats we started, and then I want to get you some calls.
All right. Over on Rumble, Urinal Chills is a monthly subscriber. Good morning. How y'all? I wish everybody and they mama well.
Everybody and they mama. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul, also a monthly subscriber on Rumble, Jason Lee Peterson, explains where Albania and Montenegro are, north of Greece and the Balkans, which those places are in. North of Greece.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
And they have Montenegros over there?
Montenegro, Albania, and the rest of the Balkan countries.
So Albanians are those people that look black, but they look white because they got real light skin?
Yeah, like Zerka, I think John Zerka, is he Albanian, or am I making that up?
You're making that up.
The guy, your fallen state guest?
Right, you're making that up.
No, I think that's accurate.
Thank you.
Oh, whatever.
I made it up, but it's accurate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We didn't know.
Yeah, we don't know anything.
Where is it again? By Greece.
Yeah, north of Greece and in the Balkans, which is a region in Europe somehow.
Oh, okay. When I hear the word Balkans, it reminds me of those movies when the empires existed over in Rome, I guess, and the people riding those horses with all these gears on going to war.
Oh.
It reminds me of that.
Bulgaria, Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Macedonia, Romania, Moldova, Kosovo.
It's amazing all those places is on the earth.
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't even seem real.
I know. That's crazy.
America.
First. Thank you, though. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Thank you for that information and your super chat.
Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds. Hey, Hake, never take your date through the hood in New York City at 3 a.m. around the Blatz. Just FYI. How about 4 a.m.?
That guy that...
Come on, bro. We laugh, but the guy got stabbed to death. Terrible.
That guy
Come on, man.
That guy that got stabbed to death by the black with his girlfriend in New York, according to the report, he was trying to fight back. He would fight like a white guy. The black guy was all trying to get him, and he would fight like this. The white guy was, no, go away. And the black guy, oh, I'm going to kill you, whatever he was saying. And the white guy like, go away. Don't you supposed to ball your fist and fight? You're supposed to do this.
I disavow your anti-white, your dismissive, flippant speech on fighting like a white guy.
What do you mean?
And then use it like a gay-sounding voice. No, stop.
I can imagine his sound. It looked like he was saying that, right? Because you couldn't hear the voice.
Right.
But you can see him doing this. No, go away. I was like, ball your fist up, man, and knock that guy out.
We're laughing with him, not at him.
What?
I said we're laughing with him, not at him.
Nick said that white guy hadn't committed to fight. I don't think he ever imagined there would be a fight. That would be one, a fight. There would be a fight. But if somebody coming on you at a knife, you think it's party time? And then the black guy sounded like he was on drugs. I don't know if he was, but he sounded out of his mind, yelling and screaming. And he had braids.
Yeah, terrible.
And the white guy like, no.
I don't even think he was a normal white.
In his suit.
Antifa people are not normal whites.
What the?
And he identified as Antifa, I do believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep it moving.
He supported that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't know if he identified as one.
Oh.
But he definitely supported. Okay.
Right.
According to the report.
Hannes O'Callahan bought a coffee. Happy Friday, all. How do you know if you've made it through the valley of the shadow of death?
You will know. I don't want to give you the answer to that because the devil used that to give you a false answer. He'll give you a false identity with that. But you will know. And there'll be no questions about it at all. It wouldn't even be any thinking about it at all. So stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Soul Conscious bought 5 coffees. Jesse, my answer to the biblical question is...
When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
I did in the past because I thought my thoughts were my own and didn't know that I was consulting with the devil.
Interesting. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Very interesting. Thank you.
Vlad, the non-black, parentheses, Haitian, not Russian, bought you a coffee. What's up, Jesse? What does the W stand for in WJLP?
White.
White JLP? That's on top of your mic, your golden mic.
White. What does that stand for, Sean?
Well, all radio stations have like W.
Yeah, they start with W.
I don't know. I forgot what it stands for, but in the good old days when we had radio.
Or K.
They would have that W there. I never knew what, but it just felt like radio for sure. K and W are for commercial radio stations.
Nice.
Amazing. Thank you.
See, Sean knows. He probably even knew where the Balkans were. Anyway, that's all for now, guys.
From there?
Who? Sean?
Yeah.
No, he's Irish and German. And
he's too white to be from the Balkans.
And he's from New Jersey. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. That's all for now.
Thank you all. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me go to first-time caller Z out of Pennsylvania. Z, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. Can you hear me good?
I hear you. Yes, sir.
Great. Well, I'm calling because listening to you basically helped me in my life and in journey, especially when you were saying everything you were saying. I seen a light in it, and so I started acting accordingly or moving accordingly to what you were saying, focusing on myself and all of those things. And I see that we're similar in certain ways, like even with the Mustang you said, I had one, and the 10 kids, so stuff like that. It seemed like it was lining up. And but what I called you today was for I've been having trouble with the silent prayer, just breaking that wall of doing it consistently and getting away from the thoughts. It's been really hard. Like I do work 2 jobs. One is full time, one is part. And so the sleep could play a factor too, but it's been a troubling time trying to get through it and do it consistently. And I've tried, but it just seemed like I can't get to that stage where it's like a reset. After I forgave, I'm looking for like a reset where it's like some sense of peace to start off or some sense of you're on the right track, so to speak. So if you could speak to that, then I would be grateful.
And so you're saying that you're not able to do it every morning, every night because you're working 2 jobs?
Yes, and when I do try to do it, like when I try to work on being the present, or I try to do it by sitting still on the edge of the bed before I go to one of the jobs, and, palms up, and I'm sitting on the edge of the bed,
right,
relaxing and going through it, it just seems like I can't get through, like if thoughts are overwhelming or the state I'm in is overwhelming.
Oh, I see. Here's what I recommend. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to break through the thoughts. Don't try it at all because it's spiritual and there's nothing you can do about it. All you need to do when you sit to be still like that, all you need to do is watch the thoughts. Don't put any fight into it at all because when you do, you're trying to fight with the devil. It's a spirit, and you're trying to fight with the spirit of evil, and there's nothing you can do. So don't fight. Just watch it. You know how when you watch TV or something, you just sit there and watch it, and you're not in the movie, you're not fighting with the movie, but you're just sitting there watching it. That's how you do with the thoughts. You watch them, but not fighting. You give up the fight and let the light that is allowing you to see the thought, the darkness, it will fight for you. There's nothing you can do. So don't fight with it at all.
Okay. Yes. It's very helpful because, it's been, like you said, I'm like, because when they say, like, spiritual warfare or something, I went in there on that thought, because it was a thought. And so when I was working on it, it was like, oh, you can power through, or you can keep trying at it, and the sooner way you'll get to the spot where you need to be. But yeah, I will take that. And,
don't believe that. That's still another thought that comes from evil, because the last thing that evil wants is to depart from you. It doesn't want to leave your mind and body, and so it's going to give you all types of lies. But just know that all thought, except for practical thoughts, going to work and eating your dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever, but all thoughts are lies. So don't believe it at all, and do not fight with it. You just want to observe it. All right? So if you feel the pressure, I can't break through, don't try to break through. No, you cannot break through because it is darkness. But the light can break through, and it will.
Yeah, and as far as like forgiving parents and moving out, I am past that 18 stage and even 19. I'm actually like 27. Never dated, never been out there in the world doing anything. I probably drunk once, but I've been trying to keep that straight and narrow path. A lot of the stuff that you say, I see. But as far as forgiving and stuff, I didn't know that was something I needed to do. Searching through different pastors, like online, like Miles Monroe, different people like that, looking for answers. So when I heard you say it definitely hit home, and it was very clear. And when I was sitting by myself, I was able to see, like, my mom especially, because I was living with my mom and stepfather.
Amazing.
And so I was able to see it. So I went to them. Actually, even though I was listening for a while, I didn't have everything I needed, I guess I would say, to say I need to move out and do everything on my own. But I was carrying on, even though I was living with them, I was carrying on as if I was living by myself. Like I was paying either more than the rent sometimes or my part of the rent and helping out around the house and every area, extending myself. So eventually when I heard you, I said, I have to move out. And so I did that about a month ago now. And I came, before I left, I said I want to have a meeting. I sat down with my stepfather, and I forgave him, or, how you said, basically like for resenting him, because I understand what he was trying to do, but he was weak. And I see it from his children, because he had two with my mom. My brother went off and living a rough life, and he's in his early 20s. My sister has a lot of anger, and I even talked to her about it, and she seemed to try to work on herself. So,
nice.
But she's still there with them. So I told her, I'm like, you're going to have to do something because it is your time to start trying to live your life. She has a lot of talents, and everybody see it. I'm like, go and do that. But, yeah, as far as my mom, which I wound up talking to her yesterday on the phone again, but I did go and talk to her after I moved out. I came back and told her that I wanted to have a talk with her and sat down and had that talk. And she understood to a certain extent. Well, she didn't understand everything, but some of the stuff she said she didn't understand. But she said she was going to, seek on it. So I left it alone, as you said. Don't worry, whatever happens. I went there, and I when you say shaking, like I felt a physical shaking in my legs.
Yeah.
But when I was talking, yeah. but
every
I
human
still,
being is afraid of their mother.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter what the age is. But once they go and forgive her, shaking in their boots and forgive her, then the fear of her will disappear, and you would deal with her like you would anyone else. You're no longer the child, you're an adult. And you would deal with her in the way that you deal with everybody.
Yes, and I even felt that when I finished I was still continue the conversation with her. I was talking to her in like a boldness, or courage.
Yeah.
And I was just telling her basically how I felt, or expressing all the things. And I was telling her, like you say, it's not you; it's like a spiritual part of you, but you haven't overcome. And I was telling her about her mom or grandmom, and like basically, like I could see the light shining through the whole family. I see why everything is broken up the way it is. And basically, I was like, she doesn't want to forgive her mom. She don't want to point the finger at her mom. She's scared.
Yeah.
And I understand. Like you say, I understand it. And I see a lot of things going on in the world, and I understand it. And as far as my father, I thought that I was holding something against him, so I scheduled a meeting like last week or so, and through Facebook, and I told him I wanted to meet at David Buster's in Philadelphia. And so we wanted a meeting and sitting down and having a conversation. And when I was looking at him, it was just like a split image of myself.
Yeah.
And it was like, I can't even be mad at this person, no matter what. I didn't have anything in my heart, and he didn't have anything. He thought that I would resent him, or that I was holding something against him. But when I was talking to him, it was like, I don't have anything, but I know I did. So I need to just, get rid of that so I can make sure that I'm all good. And he understood once I started breaking everything down from even Adam and Eve, from Adam and Eve all the way down. He started understanding everything I was saying compared to my mom. She was like, had to watch other videos and everything, but he understood right away and was like, okay, I understand, son. And now he wants to get back together again and,
Nice.
do some events and different things like that. So I'm happy with that door open. But at the same time, I take my time with it,
Yes, that's right. Fathers love their children, and when they leave, they don't leave their children. They leave the mother of the children, but the mother makes you think they left you. She won't admit they left her because she was difficult. And the children love their fathers. Adult children as well as small children, they are yearning for their fathers. They don't resent their fathers. They are yearning for their fathers. And those who think they resent their father with the mother's resentment, not their own. It's the mother's resentment. Evil is a mess, man. It'll make you believe whatever it wants you to believe when you're in that fallen state like that. I want to encourage you, Z, to stick with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. It's going to become lighter and brighter, and your mind will become clearer and clearer, and you will understand the world as clearly as you understand yourself, and it's going to be fun working on yourself. There's no fun greater than working on yourself. You're on the right track, man. Stay with it. Stay with it. That's deep. That's amazing.
Yes, and I also when I moved out too, it's like I was telling Sean basically like that. I feel like I'm free outside, but inside I need to work on, like as you said, allow it to happen, to be free inside. So it's like always peaceful, not like senses of peace or something like that, but it's truly real.
Yes,
and like that's what I'm working on now. And it feels so good to be alone, no burdens, no outside voices besides the ones that's already going crazy inside.
Yeah.
And so, And
amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. I'm glad that I don't know how I found you, came across. I know it's through YouTube, but I don't know what started it. I know I've been seeking out different voices and stuff like that to hear, but it all come back to me. And I have spent time before with myself to understand what was going on. But I didn't know it run this deep and where it came from as far as like parents. And even that video with the guy that said anger killed me. I don't remember his name. But there was a video.
Right.
Yes. And I shared that with the family, and they were so deep. And I was like, and I told them, I was like, y'all, you can tell without going too deep that this is how it's supposed to be. Like, that is a start ground I wish it is to be a Christian or believer, where he was saying he was at a place and he takes some time before he responds, or he sits alone. And all the stuff he was saying is like, it's true. Just as you say, what you say, it's true. The light shines on it.
Yeah.
And it proves itself.
Amazing, Z. And the reason you were able to find me is because when you seek, the fact that you were seeking and looking around and trying different things, the Father was pointing you and guiding you in until you finally heard the truth. Now it has awakened in you. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to only get better and better, because once you truly wake up, not just intellectually, but spiritually, and you've done that, ain't no way you'd ever go back, because there's nothing to go back to. And so just stay with it. And if you can't do the silent prayer at a certain time because you work, don't judge it. Just realize, bring your mind back to your body and stay with it. And your mother, she knows what you're saying is true about what she's done, but she's just not ready to admit it. And that's on her. Let her stay in her hell. Let her stay in her suffering. There's nothing you can do about it. You just live your life, and it's just going to be amazing.
Yes, and as you said, I see it, and I fully accept it. Like, I already understand. I see it. I'm like, if she's not going to do it because she holds, as you say, how do you say that they hold the women in the community as God? I see it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's how it is to her, because my mom, like my grandma, is a pastor too, and so.
She a pastor, you say?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your poor mama.
And she's been pastor for I was brought up under, like, she had her own, like, home church, and we was all brought under, and it was like,
what a mess.
It was like she was teaching us how to study and stuff, but it was, everybody since then has been battling stuff. It's not like how you say, like, you can see what you say, you see answers and solutions and what you say.
Yeah.
There's something, it's not just like spiritual, but it's also practical, because you're saying go and forgive. Whereas though there it was like read the Bible and, study and, giving stuff where it's like too far to reach. Like, you won't ever grasp anything, and you don't know to work on yourself. Like, that's never taught, is to work on yourself. You're always looking outside, like looking at the book, the Bible, or you looking to go to different churches, fellowship, all of that type of stuff was outside. And so I think that's really what's messing with people. Yeah, it's really messing up the family, because the family was under the church. It wasn't like, it was some outside friends, but majority of the church makeup was all family. So
what a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess.
One thing I realized when anyone tell you to look outside for the answer, that is your enemy. When they say look outside, the answer is not on the outside of you. It's on the inside of you. It's not on the outside. And when they tell you, just read the Bible. Just go to church. Look here or look there. That's your enemy. And so I'm glad that you're now looking within. And I got to run, but stay with it. You haven't seen anything? It gets better, Z. Just stay with it.
I truly believe it. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate everything.
All right, buddy. Call me again.
All right, definitely.
All right. Amazing. It's interesting how some people really just find it just like that. They can see it. Some people are a little harder, and they eventually get there. Some people take a little bit longer, but they don't give up, and they eventually get there. That's amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, welcome back. Couple quick announcements. One is that I do personalized shout-outs for you, whatever they may be. I do personal shout-outs, wedding shout-outs, congratulations shout-outs, birthday shout-outs, encouragement shout-outs, whatever they may be. Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson for personal shout outs. It's amazing. Also, if you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. And for we can do it by phone, Skype, or walk-in, in-house. To make reservation, though, you got to go to appointments. You got to go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 1-800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. All right? Amazing. Let me go. Oh, and check out my books. Amazing books. I do sign them all. From Raised to Responsibility, the first one I wrote, From Raised to Responsibility. The other one was Scam, How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America. What a mess. And then the 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success. Really a little thin pocket guide, easy read, 7 steps. If you follow them, you can't go wrong. And then the antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. And I do sign them. Go to rebuildingtheman.com. If you buy them in a store or somewhere else, I can't sign them. But if you go to rebuildingtheman.com/store, rebuildingtheman.com/store, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663, then I can sign them, all right, to whomever you want me to. And you can make donations in those places as well, all right? Let me go quickly to Cisco. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Cisco, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing, Jesse? Calling in again.
All is well, sir.
Wonderful. So I called in yesterday letting you guys know that I was having a son. Rather, my wife was having a son. I had to catch myself. So.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So you guys wanted to know the secret. Apparently, the secret isn't well known enough. And I'm surprised you don't share this with more people, Jesse.
Speak up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So if you go online, I was actually searching this up, with my wife pregnant, I was actually really interested to find out like what caused the higher probabilities of having a boy versus a girl and whatnot. And there's actually studies, and they found out in these studies that women that have higher stress hormone levels are more likely to produce women. They, children of the lie, they all like intellectualize all that. So their deduction was that, in high stress environments, it's better for, the human race to have more women to repopulate. But, looking at it from a spiritual lens, you can really see, it's almost like women are giving like an offering to their daddy devil. Like, here's another daughter for you. You know what I mean? It's almost crazy how that works out.
Yeah. Amazing.
So, so if you find that peace and you help your wife get into that peace state, it's almost guaranteed, in my opinion.
So you're saying that yesterday we were talking about what is the secret to making a boy first, right?
Yeah, you mentioned it after I got off the phone with you guys.
And you say the secret is for the woman to become calmer?
Yes. Well, scientifically, there's like correlation with higher stress hormones and having like girls. Like there's a higher probability to have a girl when there's high stress hormones in the woman.
Oh, okay. I can. That makes sense because I noticed that women are angry like I've never seen before, right? And in the good old days when girls were girls, boys were boys, men were men, girls were girls, women were women, women were not as angry. And so it does help to stay calm in all things, really. But, and that's why they have so many girls now, because they're so out of control, the women are. But that's not the secret. There's another secret that the internet don't have, buddy.
Oh, shoot.
Everything ain't on Google.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to get an encyclopedia like the good old days.
You may find it there, an old encyclopedia. Amazing. But I appreciate it, Cisco. I just can't say it over the air.
Okay.
But
no. You can't let these Gentiles know. You got to keep close to the chest.
Amazing. Thank you,
All right,
buddy.
have a good one.
All right, I appreciate you. 888-775-3773. That's the line open. Earl, our first time call out of Birmingham, Sweet Home, Alabama. Earl, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. I remember when you used to call Earl and T.
Yeah, Earl.
I was, listening to the JLP debate between all the Rhino Republicans.
Oh, yes. What a mess.
Yeah, like they need Trump in there.
If ever we needed the Great White Hope, we need him now. Let me see what he has to say today.
I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
Amazing. That's right. Yeah, we definitely need the Great White Hope, and we'll see what happens. But we definitely
what's
need
your
him.
biblical question of the day again?
When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
Because I think whatever you do, eventually, God will find a way to fix it.
So when you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something when you don't know what to do?
Well, doesn't God have a plan for all of us? And we can't deviate from that plan.
Well, I can't respond to it yet. I have to wait until Sunday. I just want to hear what other people have to say about it for now, and I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. And you're saying that the reason you distort it because God has another plan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you, Earl. I appreciate you putting your 2 cents in, and I'll put mine in on Sunday.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Amazing. 888-7753-773. That's a line open there if you want to jump in there. Nathaniel from Wisconsin. Nathaniel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. First off, I want to say shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson and the experts of the Bond Network, and more importantly, the Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about three things if we have time, but the first thing I wanted to do was answer the biblical question.
When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's the distortion that starts when being distorted when we were children. We're raised to have this imagination, and for me, myself, I don't even remember my childhood, but we're raised to, for girls, have the tea party and playing with Barbies. For the boys, it was the action figures, and all that was just, us being in our imagination, in our thoughts. And for me, growing up, I'm taught from my parents to work that 9-to-5 job in a factory and kind of just go through the motions. And I'm a millennial, and what we call it is like the blue pill or the red pill. And for you, Jesse, you're definitely a red pill. You're definitely helping us out and helping us be awake and be aware of what's going on right now. And with us going into 2024, I hope with Donald Trump, he could definitely help us out.
Yeah, I one thing for sure, and right now, maybe there's someone else waiting in the wings somewhere, but I don't see anyone else who can bring this country back together other than the Great White Hope. Amazing. And as far as the biblical question, I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah. And to add to that, I'm 29, so anyone I found you this year through your short clips of the Fallen State. But for anyone that's older than me that discovered you, they've been in this illusion for many years, and now they're finally following you, which is great. But again, we need that help. But the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is the Balkans. My wife is actually Albanian, and if you're not familiar where that is, think of Italy and the heel of Italy. It's right below the heel of Italy between Greece and above that. And they argue actually about where Julius Caesar actually came from. They say that he was part of the Greeks, but they definitely debate themselves between Albanian and the Greeks. But Balkan actually means like mountains, so they're from the village of the mountains of Albania. And my wife is from like the suburban area, more of like the rich area. It's called Fior. The better way to say it is like the Cologne Dior, but changing the D to an F.
Amazing. Have you gone over there?
Not yet. It's becoming really Americanized. We're just America's really just finding out the great things about Albania, and it's pretty similar to Greece. But if you look in the news as far as where Greece is coming from, it's definitely getting pretty bad over there. So anyone that travels, it's better to go to Albania because it's much more clean. And if you're okay with walking a lot, it's definitely their type of transportation.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you, man. I appreciate that information. That makes it a little more clear for me now. That helps Hake.
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay. Hate wasn't paying attention, but that is a little more clear, Nathan. Thank you for that, buddy.
Yeah. And then lastly, your hot dog and peanut butter.
Yes.
You must have been smoking pot. How is that good?
It's delicious. You get the bittersweet taste, and then you get the peanut butter taste. It made you want to, and don't, wow, if you put a little hot sauce on it, that's even better.
Might have to add some bacon to it. Make it a little salty.
Have you tried it yet?
No, but I'm going to have to.
Give it a try.
I'm going to have to smoke on it.
So make sure you, one slice of bread, spread the peanut butter on it, boil the hot dog, and just put one on there, fold it together, and man, you can call on Jesus.
What the?
You give it a try one day and let me know what you think.
All right, Jesse. Have a good day.
You too, buddy. I'm telling you, it's amazing. 888-7753-773. First time caller, Nick, out of Texas. Nick, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Nick.
Yes, sir.
You're on the air.
Excellent, Jesse. It is an honor to not only hear your voice every day, but also talk to you right now.
Thank you. Same here, buddy.
Well, I had a question planned to ask you, and I think the previous caller, you kind of answered it as I was on the phone waiting. That was your answer basically was the whole visualization, looking at that struggle you have like it's a TV show and trying not to battle it spiritually. Because, you know, I consider myself pretty well, I know the Bible pretty well. I was raised on it, raised in church. And so, you know, at this point in my life, I do take it as, I look at the world as a spiritual battlefield a lot of times. And it helps me in some ways, most ways, I would say. But when I heard that previous caller talking about, you know, forgiveness with his parents, which is something that I'm really struggling with myself, because not to sound feminine or not to sound, you know, to get to complaining or nothing, I hate that, and I've learned to dislike it more. Hearing that it's a problem that I need to deal with myself, you know, through the wisdom I think that you impart on us listening to you. You know, I feel like I need to forgive my parents. I feel wronged and all that. And when you had said to this previous caller how when he mentioned that his grandmother was a pastor, and so his mama was a pastor's daughter, and that hit home. Yeah, man, it hit home with me because I can see. Well, both my mom and my dad, they're both the parents. They're all pastors on their side. That's why I've been blessed to have the Bible and a relationship with God a little bit better.
Your father and mother are pastors?
They're pastors' children.
Oh, but they're not pastors. They're pastors' children.
No, and my father, he's been homeless for quite a few years now. He had been. And so he liked to consider himself a street preacher, if you will, but
he's homeless?
At some point, he was.
Oh, okay.
He was. And that has a lot to do with, I would say a year ago exactly, he started working with me at my job. And for 6 months, I tried my best. I think there's a little a rest in his development at some age to not mature to the point to where, like, you can't work with your son as he's the boss and as a worker and just fulfill, you know, what he needs done. I don't know. If I was working for my son, I'd do the best job possible. I really didn't feel that. We had a falling out.
So you had
and I would say, yeah, with my father, this is kind of on the side. You know, it's another thing I'm working on to forgive him for, and I feel the need to because in the past few months he's been diagnosed with throat cancer, and you know, it's a battle trying to get myself after the things, you know, he pretty much said to me, which I would never say to my son. It's a battle to try and overcome that, to ask his forgiveness, if you will. But I am.
But you're not.
And I will.
Why would you ask his forgiveness? You're supposed to apologize.
Well,
for
you're right. You're right.
Him, not ask for forgiveness.
No, you're right, and I think I mean that in apologizing. You know, maybe I mean more. Hey, Dad, no matter what, forgive me for resenting you. You know,
no, not
apology. You know what I mean?
No. Hey, hold on. Not forgive me for forgiving you. You know, to Dad, or whatever you call him. I'm sorry for resenting you, because the problem is when you resent him, the problem is on you, because you know he couldn't help himself just as you can't help yourself. So you apologize for resenting him.
Which I understand clear now to hear it from. And maybe I'm feeling sorry for maybe I feel like I need forgiveness for not contacting him for a year or 6 months, finding out he has that going on in his body, and I can't bring myself, you know, to. But
why not?
I will.
You
I try.
Didn't you say you were a Christian and you know the Bible and you're blessed for knowing the Bible or something like that?
Yes, and that's why.
But how come it's so hard to forgive? Have you forgiven your mother?
You know, I'd like to think that in the past few days I've brought myself to be more forgiving to her, because it's been probably the first times we had conversations where I didn't get annoyed easily or spiteful to her in words. I haven't had the chance to say, hey, you know, I'm sorry for resenting you. You know, I held this. I do, and she knows, but I know I'm going to have the same
Why
problem.
Why haven't you done it, Nick?
You know, I guess I know for sure. Like, I know 100% she won't understand where I'm coming from with that.
Why does she need to understand?
You're right.
No, that was a question.
You're right. Yeah.
That was a question. That was a question. Why does she need to understand? You need to understand because you realize you're wrong for resenting her. Why does she need to understand it?
In hearing that, I can realize there's probably that. I guess I'm the one who feels like she needs to understand it because maybe I feel owed that. But, you know, you're right. I in the sense that it is more on me. And I think once I know that from what you said, you know, what I've heard from you is once I do that, it's really not, it's between me.
And what's your real reason for not, you've been talking to us since you heard me say this. What's your real reason for not forgiving her?
The fear of the direction the conversation will go, and me maybe feeling more mad at her for it.
How old are you?
I'm about 40.
And how do you know what's going to happen before you do it?
Because I've been her son for 40 years. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen before. I have a lot of evidence based off being her son for 40 years and knowing the way that conversations like that go.
And this time, it shouldn't matter. You're going there to her to face her so you can overcome your fear and to tell her, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize you couldn't help yourself now. And if she asks for what, just say because you, whatever she did, turn you away from your father or impose a will on you or whatever she did, right? And if she understands, fine. If she doesn't, fine. But they do understand. They lie and pretend they don't understand because they're not ready for the truth. And it's hard. The hardest thing in the world for a woman to do is to forgive. So she does understand. She doesn't want to admit it to you because she wants to keep control over you as well.
Yes, that's been a thing. You know, it's been controlled. I think yesterday's show or one of the past few days where you had mentioned how the tattoo of the mom and how, you know, the mother creates tries to recreate us in her image, and that's really what I've been dealt with. But again, it's something that I know is like the logical side of me. My logical brain knows that you're right. It's not about her. It's about me.
You're never going to
letting
overcome,
go of that.
Even though you know the Bible, you grew up in the church, you're never going to overcome the spirit of your mother until you face her and apologize for resenting her. Forgive her.
Well, I feel like God's given me the opportunity to.
Hold on, buddy.
To do that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick break. 1 more hour to go. Back in a moment. The hate news, not the fake news, and I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world, am I right? This is the end of Hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Friday, October 6th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for Hour 3. JLP will be right back after this brief Hake news, not fake news. So hang tight, callers, and you can call in because there is one line open. 888-77-JESSE, 1-888-775-3773. After JLP, Hake, and after Hake, at noon Pacific, The Fallen State, and after The Fallen State at 4 p.m. Pacific, American Anchor Baby, Nick Stream, always fun. And then, of course, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sunday, and shout out to the men who came from around the country and around the SoCal to join the Men's Forum last night. It was a highlight of the month, as usual. Men's Forum's first Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. Women's Forum's third Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. Check rebuildingtheman.com/events or call 1-800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 if you ever want to confirm that it is indeed happening in the upcoming first or third Thursdays. Speaker campaign yesterday, President Trump, according to the far-left females at the Skim, whom Hake loves, right? If he loves anybody, said he'd be open to acting as the House Speaker for a short period of time if Republicans can't get their elephants in a row, cleverly state the ladies at the Skim. Trump is not a congressman, but it doesn't disqualify him. But he was indicted on felony charges, so the GOP would have to change a rule. Trump said he's not doing it because I want to, but if necessary, and is thinking about a trip to the Hill in the coming days. Meanwhile, Representative Steve Scalise, Republican from Louisiana, and Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, have been trying to get votes before next week. Trump endorsed Ohio Representative Jim Jordan's bid for Speaker of the House today. So that's nice. Nobel Prize. Oh, Lord. The 2023 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to jailed Iranian feminist activist and scientist Ms. Narges Mohammadi early today. The committee said it was for her fight against the oppression of women in Iran and her fight to promote human rights and freedom for all. So Nobel is a globo homo communist, right? Narges Mohammadi has been a prisoner for most of the past 2 decades. She's been sentenced repeatedly for being a voice of the voiceless, says CNN. For her meaning unborn babies, voice of the voiceless? For her unrelenting campaign against the death penalty in solitary confinement, which she has had to endure for weeks at a time. Solitary confinement, not death penalty, I guess. She is currently serving a sentence of 10 years and 9 months, accused of actions against national security and propaganda against the state of Iran. She's also sentenced to 154 lashes, among other punishments. The Nobel Peace Prize, blah, blah, blah. For decades, that 51-year-old woman has worked to expand women's rights. And she's continued her mess behind bars. This past weekend, 16-year-old Armita Garavand fell into a coma after walking into a public transit in Iran with her hair uncovered, sparking allegations against the Iranian government, or Iranian government. Comes on the heels of the 1-year anniversary of the death of Mahsa Amini, who sparked a wave of women-led protests across the country that the globo homo mainstream supported over here. It was ridiculous. Made me want to spit. Ukraine propaganda. Ukraine launched a missile strike Thursday, according to Common Nonsense, that killed at least 51 people, including a child, in a village near the eastern Ukrainian city of Kupiansk, officials say. One of the deadliest attacks against civilians since the war began, they say. Moscow's faces, their forces targeted a cafe and a shop in Hroza in the Kharkiv region, with locals inside. Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov said the strike shows Kiev needs more defense systems to protect our country from terror, amid fears of dwindling military aid from so-called Western allies. The evil UN's humanitarian coordinator said Ukraine in Ukraine said images are absolutely horrifying. I imagine they are. That's war. Stop giving the war welfare. I'm James Hake.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. There is one line open if you want to jump in there at 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question. When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something? When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something? Why? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you have to wait and podcast the show, and you can, but you could be listening, doing whatever it is you're doing. By calling the listen line on TalkStream Live, on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. All right? And follow us, Jesse Lee Peterson, on Instagram, JLP Talk on X. On X. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. Every Friday is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Who did that?
Who did that? Who did that?
We will never accept hateful rhetoric in our city.
That's the man that pulled the fire.
Any rhetoric that uplifts white supremacy.
Will you nominate an African American woman?
The answer is yes.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen.
But we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
Who can stop this sharp menace?
I'm scared.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Nice. What the? White men, y'all need to be speaking up, and don't fight like this. No. Fight like this. Don't fight. No. Get away. and your white girlfriend just sitting up there looking, doesn't know what to do. And then the white guy tried to run, and the black guy chased him down, and according to the report, killed him. And the girlfriend looking around, and she looked down on the ground, and there he is. What the? It's a spiritual battle. A battle between good and evil. Let me quickly go back to Nick, our first-time call out of Texas. I had to put him on hold because we ran out of time there in the second hour. And Nick is thinking about forgiving his parent. Hey, Nick.
Yes.
So you're a Christian, right?
That's what I would probably check on a box if somebody asked me for religion.
But did you say you knew the word? You know the Bible?
Yes, I have a relationship with God, but if I should say I was a Christian, I wouldn't say I was a very good one.
Oh, okay.
I just try.
And you say you have a relationship with God?
In the sense that I accepted Him as my Lord and Savior, have done my best to read the Word and try and put it in my day to day. I've been discovering how far from Him, though. However close I think I am, I always get shown how far. But he no matter whatever's come up in my life, He's always been there. He's always protected me. And I know my grandparents, my great grandparents, they put in a lot of work. I know it's His way to honor them, even though a lot of times I fall short, way short. If I look at my dad, I know there's a lot of stuff that he's fell shorter on. If I had to look at it, but I can't say. I can't say I'm any better if I'm gonna be like him because I can't let that stuff go.
And you said that you have a relationship with God.
God the Creator, God the Father, in the sense that I try to emulate His Son Jesus Christ and live by the word He gave us.
And did you say you have a relationship with God?
Yes.
And why?
I like to say I do. Yes, I guess that's my answer.
Why do you think you have a relationship with God?
Oh shoot! I like to think if I do, if I tend to try and cry out to Him, pray to Him, thank Him. I constantly try and ask Him every day, and see if I'm doing things right. I don't. Sometimes I screw up, and I'm bad, but I get where you're going. I get what you mean.
All I've done is ask questions. What do I mean?
I mean, I can see with a question, if I don't have a ready, prepared answer, it's not that I'm being asked something or put on the spot, trying to come. I can see if I guess my answer or my response is, if I do have a relationship with God and I am saying all this, then I should be first and foremost forgiven to my parents for whatever it is, because they're not perfect. And I didn't even start to think about it that way until I stumbled across your show, and I really did, because I like to think my grandfather's the Jesse Lee Peterson of Peru, because he preaches on the air over there and on the internet, but because you kind of have a same look and style and all that, he's out of West Texas. I was drawn to that, and I didn't even know you were going to show me in a way through your words what it really was that I was dealing with. I had no idea.
Is it possible to have a relationship with God? You went down to the front of the church, you accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and carried on like that. Is it possible to have a relationship with God and not forgive your parents first?
I didn't know that until now.
I'm asking you, is that possible?
I can see, I would say, not the best. You can't have the best relationship that you can with God to its most potential if you're not forgiven.
Is it possible to have a relationship with God and not forgive your parents?
No.
Then why do you think you have a relationship with God?
I guess I'm wrong.
No, that was a question.
Yeah,
why do you think you have a relationship with God?
I guess my answer would be maybe I'm deceiving myself and I can't see. Maybe I'm blind to it, because I'm blind to it if I can't do a very important thing like that.
And have you read in the Bible, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, go and forgive?
Yes.
Are you surprised at how afraid you are of your mother?
No.
You're not surprised?
At this point, no. Well, it did surprise me. I admit, a lot of my life had been, gone a certain way because of a fear of her or disappointment, even though disappointing her or getting her approval should never really have been something I needed to seek. I always was afraid of not having it.
Yeah. You know your mother, you know she's evil?
Man, yes.
Did you know she was evil before I said it?
Yes.
And did you know that Satan was her god?
Well, it's not something I would want to admit about my mother.
Why not?
Yes. Oh, well, just maybe the way I'm raised, maybe that you don't. I don't know. I had always, you don't want to think terrible things about your mother. I've thought them, but you don't want to think those. I know it's logically by the word, it's not right, and I do it anyway. We do, but yeah.
What is terrible
I've said that before.
What is terrible about knowing that your mother, God, is the devil?
There's nothing really terrible about it.
So, will you go and forgive her so you could be free?
Yes.
And don't be a beta with it. Don't be like, Mother, I love you, but I want to forgive you. I love you, but I want you to know I love you. I'm sorry, Mom, but I love you. You don't love her yet.
No. I feel like when I start to make the decision to not be that way, it's been a few years already. Like all mothers, they have some meddling in their sons' families with their wives and children.
Are you
married? And I think I'm married. I'm married.
And you have kids too?
I do.
And you let her interfere with your family?
No. I think it's about that point that I ceased to be. I don't think I was a beta, but I think I needed to lay down the alpha. And I started to try to explain to my wife when we would have these situations and tell my wife literally what my words were. She is not the alpha. I said, she is not the pack leader. She's not the head wolf. She's not that. I said, these are your cubs, and as far as I'm concerned, this is your pack. And my wife's very respecting of all elders, and she tries to act now that way rather and not be disrespectful, but that's a fine line to tread,
How is it disrespectful to protect your family?
I'm not disrespectful. I think she's afraid that we will be perceived as disrespect, and again, it's that fear. It's that fear of approval.
Does
and I've told my wife.
Does she obey you? Your wife?
Yes.
Your wife obeys you?
My wife obeys me. I'm by no means a tyrant. I'm by no means demanding or anything.
Why are you telling me that?
Oh, just to explain the fact that despite that.
Why you need to explain that?
I don't know. I guess I don't need to. I guess it's to illustrate that my wife, even though, she's never seen me or even heard me say, hey, I need to know that you obey me. I've always sensed and I feel that, hey, when I do need something to go a certain way and say this is why or whatever, she's always right on. She's always on my team.
Let me tell you this. I gotta go. I gotta run.
Yes, sir.
If you want to be free and enter into the kingdom of heaven within, you gotta forgive your mother. You gotta go and praise her and deal with her.
Tomorrow I'm doing some work at one of her houses for her, and I didn't lay it on the altar as, God, this is what I'll do if this happens. But I can't tell you man to man on the phone, voice to voice, and say this without following through, is that tomorrow I'm going to have the opportunity. That's going to be the day.
And whatever she does, that's on her. If she get mad, if she start yelling, if she try to blame your father, if she act dumb as though she doesn't understand, if she start crying, if she fall out and die, that's on her. It has nothing to do with you. She's just trying to control you. She doesn't want to admit she was wrong, but you forgive her and you go and live your life.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And forgive your father as well.
I will.
I wish you well, Nick. Let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you.
All right, buddy. All human beings, grown human beings, men and women, are afraid of their mothers. You got to know something is wrong. You got to know something is wrong. You're not supposed to be afraid of your mama. What the? It's only because you resent her, you're angry at her, you hate her. And anyone that has anger has fear. Super chat.
Super chat.
So good.
Super.
Prep Ham Paul explains the W and the K, the WJLP. W is for stations east of the Mississippi. Oh, so you're east of the Mississippi, huh? K is for stations west of the Mississippi. So maybe it should be KJLP since you're currently west of the Mississippi. Knowing this is from my ham part of my channel name, Ham Radio, which is another word for amateur radio.
Oh.
Smiley face emoji. Thank you, Prep Ham Paul. Very nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Punchy, get out that tree before you fall. Bought a coffee. Amazing.
Thank you. Amazing.
Mr. J bought you 5 coffees. After watching Hassan's show and seeing him so tired, I told Sandy to clean his butt and then make sure to give him extra face licks to cheer him up.
I didn't know what was up with that. What the?
Someone bought you 5 coffees. I started doing your silent prayer for a few weeks and forgave my mom and dad. I quit nicotine 3 months ago, but fell back into it a few days ago. The temptation is very hard not to smoke. How should I quit so that I'm fully done and never go back?
Just simply observe yourself smoking. Watch yourself picking it up, opening the package, looking at it, lighting it, and smoking it. Don't go unconscious, and you'll lose the taste for it. It'll be over. Thank you.
Mig Mac America bought you with coffee. Hey, Jesse, did I just hear the Democrats say the wall going up?
Yeah, they're pretending that they're putting it up, but don't believe it. And you got to remember, election times are near now. They're coming. And everybody and their mama are paying attention. They're starting to pay attention. And Joe Biden made a vow that he wasn't going to put the wall up when he was running. And now he's saying he is because the people are starting to find out how many, all these illegal aliens coming over. But it's just a trick. And if they even put it up, it's not going to be the whole wall. Believe me. So don't fall for it. It's like telling the people who sign up to go to college, and they sign the dotted line that they're going to pay for it, and now they're trying to make us pay for it. Same thing. It's all a scheme to get votes. Don't fall for it. Even if he put the wall up, which is not going to happen, I wouldn't still vote for him. But do what you want. Thank you.
No Fear Just Faith bought another coffee. Jesse, have you noticed men are going into the delivery room with their wives during labor and childbirth?
How gross is that, huh?
This is pure evil, a trick of the enemy. Labor pain is for the woman alone.
Yeah.
No man wants to make another baby with his wife after he experiences that kind of hell. Men should stay in the waiting room or go to the bar and hand out cigars once the baby's been born.
Or stay at home until they say, hey, the baby's here, come and get her.
Just had to get that off my chest.
Thank you. Amazing.
Hannes O'Callahan bought you 3 coffees. You'd think I would master his name by now. Thank you for the answer. Sorry, quick follow-up question. Is going through the Valley of the Shadow of Death a one-off event or multiple?
Multiple. There are so many demons inside of you, and the hell is so deep. And but just don't worry about that. Just relax and go through hell. All right? But it's deeper than what you think. It's way, way down in you. But just relax and go through it. Don't worry about how long it's going to take or how many hells you got to go through. Let go and go through it, and you'll be free. Thank you.
He continues, also my answer to the biblical question. This is Hannes O'Callahan.
When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
I did not recognize how much I did worship the devil, feeding him, validating him, allowing him to rampage within my mind. By allowing the devil to give me answers, I was worshiping him. And by worshiping him, I never hear the true answer from God. Thank you again for everything.
You're welcome, and thank you. We have come into this house to lift up holy hands and worship you. We have come into this house to lift up holy hands and worship you. Worship you. Amazing.
Me Bits on...
You heard that song, Hassan?
I have not. It sounds incredible. I need to check it out.
Worship you.
I was about to give you the sulking music underneath.
Amazing.
Me Bits over on Rumble said, BS, bogus speech. If you don't protect your wife and child from the evil hospitals, especially when your wife and kids are vulnerable, then you don't have any love.
What?
About staying inside of the waiting room, the delivery room while she's in pain.
How you going to protect her by being there?
Make sure that they don't cut her open too much.
You're not going to know the difference. What the?
Proton Broton is a monthly supporter, subscriber on Jesse Lee Peterson Rumble.
You got to know how to rumble.
And he asks, what's the secret? Triple question mark.
To making a boy first?
I assume.
I can't say on the radio. But there is a secret, and it does work. But I can't say on the radio. Kids are listening.
All right, continuing. Mr. Pink bought you a coffee. Not sure what happened, but my biblical answer coffee got lost in the memory hole yesterday. Yeah, I don't know if I missed it or what happened. Maybe I didn't miss it and it fell through. So, to answer the biblical question,
when you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
These days, when I don't know what to do, I meditate on Jesse's classic, Be Still and Know. This helps me find out what to do by God revealing the true path instead of letting my thoughts make one up. In my youth, I used to distort the not knowing with drugs, music festivals, fake conspiracy theory, and whatever, just to give myself a false sense of life and thrills. Psalm 46:10, Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth.
Amazing. Thank you. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Thank you very much.
Someone bought you 3 coffees, no message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chad Carrington at Timeout and Co. Jewelers bought 45 coffees. Don't care and you won't have to worry about having patience. Just be.
Amazing. Thank you.
Over on, also on Buy Me a Coffee, Owen Conway, County Clare, Ireland, bought a coffee. Hi, Jesse. Just 2 questions. 1, do you use a smartphone or a dumb phone? Basic button without no internet. And 2, would you consider asking former heavyweight boxer George Foreman for a discussion? He's a Christian pastor.
Is he still living?
I guess so. Outside of Houston, Texas, according to him.
Is that the man that made the barbecue machine?
Yeah, the George Foreman sandwich maker or whatever that thing is.
That would be interesting to have a discussion with him. Thank you.
I'll
talk to my producer about it.
I loved your interview with Stacey Dash. She was making a move on you, Jesse, but you played hard to get. She was yearning for a man of God.
She is pretty.
Regards, Owen Conway, County Clare, Ireland, where the Great White Hope has a hotel.
Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Oh. On D-Live, Evgeny Crosby. Hake, next time Hillary pulls hot sauce out of her purse, tell her to try some. Yum emoji, licking lips.
I don't feel no ways tired.
And now that's all for now. Bye.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. And ladies, thank you so much. Let me go to Marion, a first-time call out of Michigan. Marion, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Remember Marion Barry, the convicted crackhead that they put his
from
tattoo
D.C.
on? Yeah, and you're talking to Tim Black from the Tim Black Show. He black.
Amazing.
Yeah, and remember that one black guy that got shot in the back, and Sean Hannity was trying to say you should never shoot a black man in the back.
Never ask us, a black person, if they remember.
Okay, what's the
deal with Marion Barry?
What's the longest memory of a black man?
I don't know.
That's my biblical question to you. What is the longest memory span of a black man?
Oh, man. Nice. Thank you, buddy. I got to run, Marion. I'm looking at the clock. I do remember, it may be 40 years, because you know how the blacks are still remembering slavery. They had nothing to do with it. So it may be 400 years. Amazing. Thank you, Marion. Jaden, a first-time caller out of Oakland, California. Jaden, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. I'm calling you to give you the gospel from our Lord Jesus Christ, Mr. Peterson.
Go ahead.
Pastor, I've been doing it.
Hold on, buddy. Wait, get your question straight, and I'll come back to you. I'm looking at the clock. I can't play right now. I'll let Sean get your question straight. Deontay, you're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Deontay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
All is well.
I wanted to give you a call and make my claim that we should be rooting for Ron DeSantis for the nominee in the Republican Party.
Why?
Because he has done a lot of great things for the state of Florida.
Yeah, but he can't run a country, though.
Why can't he?
Because he's weak.
But how is he weak if he's done so much great things for Florida?
It's easier to run a state, and than it is to run.
We're not a little state.
It's easier to run a state than it is to run a country.
I agree, but I think that he's the best when it comes to policy making. He may not. I'm a Trump fan. I like Trump.
Right.
Trump has a great personality.
Right.
But in reality, it's hard for me to say this, but it's true. I don't like some of the things that Trump has been doing lately. I think if I'm letting him get passes because he's Trump, but in reality, I don't like that he's not debating, because as Americans, I believe that we should debate. And when Katie Hobbs was in,
but there's no rules that say.
Nevada,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You say what now?
No, it's not saying that there's rules that he shouldn't debate. I just believe as Americans, when the Democrats weren't debating, I was very critical of them not debating. And now that Trump's not doing it, I was like, I gave him a pass. I didn't really like that he did the vaccine thing, but I gave him a pass.
But we already know.
Law didn't get finished.
We already know what Trump is about, and those people on the stage that's running right now, they're all rhinos. It's just to be a waste of time.
But DeSantis isn't a rhino. He's proven, because think about this. Here in Florida, they made it so that everybody's learning that the slavery thing wasn't just about slavery.
Yeah.
It was like people learned. He also made sure that everybody here can have a gun as long as you don't even have to go get a license here, as long as you're not a felon. He made it so that
I know that, but I know
option.
all that, but DeSantis cannot handle what he will have to deal with in running a country. The other people won't let him do that, and he's not strong enough to do it. But Desantis, thank you, buddy. I got to take a break. 888-77-JESSE. I'll be back in a moment. Open the treasure chest and not open on D-Line. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. So, a few announcements. At the top of this hour, the Hake report is coming up. The Hake report.com from 9 to 11. And Hake has a guest today. And I don't know if it's in the first hour or the second hour or the third hour or the fourth hour. First hour today, Hake has a guest. Aircraft Sparky. Aircraft Sparky. And by the way, the treasure chest is now open on D-Live. I don't know if I got it through or not. And at 12 noon today, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. A very interesting discussion with David Nino Rodriguez. He's a former heavyweight boxing champion, a best-selling author, and host of Nino's Corner TV. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Throughout my boxing career, being a raging alcoholic.
You want a glass of Merlot right now? You used to drink wine. What's wrong with a little wine?
I almost died twice. I overdosed on drugs, flatlined. I saw my funeral. I thought I was Superman. I thought I could do anything and nothing would happen.
Do you date white women or Mexican women? You date black women too?
I have.
Oh, God.
I love this show already. I'm with a girl right now. Her family's from Montenegro.
Montenegro?
Montenegro. Albania.
Oh.
This is the craziest interview ever. I love it, though. It's good.
Amazing. At 12 noon today, the FallenState.tv. And you can support the Fallen State right there at the FallenState.tv/donate and locals.com, all right? You can support. And at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Pacific time. He is flying high on natural energy, a natural high, not off drugs, not off pot, not off fentanyl, but a natural God-given energy. As Rush Limbaugh would say, a gift from, an energy from God. And Rush used to say, talent on loan from God. Talent on loan from God. So Nick is saying energy on loan from God at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And then Sunday at 11 a.m., Fellowship for All. 11 a.m. Pacific time, doors open at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Come on down if you're in the area. If not, you can watch it live on the internet, rebuildingthemand.com/church at 11 a.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right? Amazing. So my producer's coming in, and I got to react to something I haven't seen yet. We did this last Friday, I believe. It was fun. And before I go back to your calls and Super Chat, we got to react to something. JLP reacts. Act. This is Sean, my producer. He didn't know he was coming in. I forgot to tell him. So he's rushing in. Amazing. So I have to react.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet.
Right.
I haven't seen these yet.
Nice,
right?
fresh, natural reaction.
Okay, fresh, natural reaction. And Sean is one of the experts here, too, on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. An amazing producer. This first one is from
KHOU.
KHOU. All right, hear it.
Running a marathon is a feat of its own. Now, how about adding a stroller? That's exactly what Katy resident Callum Neff did. In 2016, he strapped in his daughter Holly and took her with him for a very fast 13.1 miles. Despite the extra equipment and sidekick, Callum ran that half marathon so fast, he became the Guinness Book of World Records holder for the fastest half marathon ever run while pushing a stroller. Later that year, he got another world record for pushing a stroller the fastest in the full marathon, a task he accomplished with his daughter Allie.
And even though I had a stroller with me, we were very competitive. Should we go to the park today?
Callum has a new goal of running the fastest 10K in the world while pushing a stroller. This time, he'll take his youngest daughter, Maya, for the attempt. If he succeeds, all three of his girls will have played a part in his record-breaking races.
It goes to show you just when you're running, not just for yourself or something else, for somebody else, it really empowers you. And so it's been just really special to share these moments with the kids.
No wonder he has three girls. He's a beta. And he's pushing a stroller. A man ain't got no business pushing a stroller.
And he takes it to the next level. He's pushing a stroller in a marathon multiple times.
Oh, what is this old world coming to?
Yeah.
No wonder he has three girls.
Yep.
What a beta.
Crazy, right?
That's insane.
Yeah, we have a couple more. We can move through them a little pretty quickly.
Here's the second one from X.
Because I feel like both, like a man and a woman, but I also feel like neither and genderless. Like I'm both, but I'm neither. I really ID with being like androgynous or like androgyny, but I also really identify with being agender or neutrois and just having nothing. That's why I kind of like the term bigender, because I feel like I'm both, but also neither, so I feel like that works. But I feel like most of the time, when people hear like bigender, they just think like man and woman. I don't know. I think it's fun. There's so many different types of identities and expressions. I think it's all really interesting. So let me know what yours is.
Is he joking?
No, that's a real one.
Is he on drugs?
I don't know, but as soon as his face came on, you went, "Oh my god!"
I think that's a joke, though.
No, I think that's a real one. I mean, you never know for sure, but
right.
No, that's.
Because some of these people do crazy things just to get on the internet and get some attention. That's insane.
Yeah, and it's amazing to hear someone go, there's so many identities you can you can identify with, and let me know what yours is.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The next one's from X.
F15-13303. Okay, Mr. Booth, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you, sir.
Oh my goodness.
This is the nicest kid in middle school.
Oh my goodness.
He was the best kid in middle school. I used to play football with him, all the kids, and look what has happened. I'm so sorry to see
Oh
you there.
my goodness.
What the?
Mr. Booth, I hope you're able to change your ways. Good luck to you.
Oh my goodness.
Look at her face.
What's sad is how old we
Y'all
become.
happy?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Good luck to you, sir. I hope you're able to come out of this okay and just lead a lawful life.
The smirk. There's a lot to say about
She's
that, but
loving that.
yeah, I mean, first of all, obviously breaking down like that. They obviously knew each other in middle school, and now
Yeah.
she's a judge and he's a criminal. But the enjoyment,
She gonna
enjoyment on her
I
face.
knew one day I'd be putting your butt in.
Yeah, right. This is fun.
And grinning and smiling.
Yeah, I like reminding you now of how young you once were, and now how you screwed up your whole life.
Ever, we needed you, Lord. We need you now. Here's 4.
Yeah, the last one, 4.
From X.
I asked my manager it was an order from my owner. We can't do no refunds. All we can do is give you the food.
I don't want the food. I don't want to wait. I don't have time to wait on the food again.
Okay.
Okay, so now what do we do?
It's either you get the food remade and you go on about your day and stop yelling at my other manager because that's uncalled for.
Wow.
What the f*** do you mean you can't give me my money back? Hold on, I'm asking.
He wanted some chicken.
He wanted a refund on his meal.
Oh, and the white lady tried to don't
Yeah.
be.
She
I'm
said
my
no.
manager. He like, what the?
Yep.
Don't white people know black people built off anger? What was she thinking?
Destroyed the store.
Did they lock him up?
I don't know. I got to get an update on that one. I'll give you an update.
Wow.
Yep.
That's what anger will do for you. And last but not least, from X.
Denying trans people life-saving care is a kind of rude thing to do.
Life-saving care? Mm-hmm. Okay, so denying trans people their life-saving care is a rude thing to do.
Do you think it saves kids' lives to stop their bodies from going through puberty?
I think it does.
How come?
Because there's studies showing that, like, people who transition, who are pre-transitioning... How do I explain this?
It's okay, take your time. No pressure.
There are studies showing that children who are unable to transition, and keep in mind, most of the time they're not being given hormones at 13. They're given puberty blockers to stop them from going through what they feel is the wrong puberty. And their experience I don't want to have this conversation.
No. You're onto something. You want him to take it, or?
I mean, I'm going to be late to class.
Oh, man, that says a lot. Number one, she hadn't really thought about this issue at all.
Right.
She just heard the study somebody mentioned, and she hadn't even thought about it.
No.
And now she has to think about it. She doesn't have answers.
Yeah. And she was all she was all nervous about it too. Like she was put on the spot, and she just couldn't come up with
that's deep.
Anything of depth.
And that's what's happening with the young people. They're not thinking about what they've been told.
Right.
They just believe it because the teacher said it or some stupid scientist said it, and they just go out and believe it. But when well, what does that mean? What do you think? They can't answer the question.
Yep. It's all emotions and no logic.
And I don't want to have this conversation.
I'm late for class.
She was ready to have it when she thought she had the answer.
Yeah, she's late for class where she's going to go learn more about
lies.
that.
What the? Amazing.
Yep.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
I want my country back. It ain't coming back. Amazing, Sean, y'all. Let me go to Dylan out of Texas. Dylan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hey, I just wanted to kind of like share a story of success. I wanted to really, really thank you for really helping me get closer to God. 2 years ago, I called into the show and on the suggestion of my friend, and shared my story that I had a bad relationship with my mother. I was going to therapy. I didn't know how to process it and stuff. And you gave me such great advice of just talk to her, forgive her, but you don't have to forget everything in the past. You don't have to make everything right, and the forgiveness is a personal thing. And honestly, I did that, and our relationship is so much better. My mom has, gotten a lot better. We respect each other. There's a lot of boundary, respect right there. And I have, been more still. I've been doing the, silent prayer, and honestly, it's just been going great ever since then. I've, been working out. I got a new job. And I met a wonderful, wonderful woman who is Catholic, and it's been a very interesting experience too. And so it's just been great, and I really, really thank you for really helping me, kind of stay on the path and helping a lot of people like this too. And I would like to even say that there was another caller whenever I called. I think his name is Eric or whatever. He was from Texas, and he was struggling with the whole standing up to the mom or admitting all that stuff. Yeah. And and I know that you're kind of from the South too, so I don't know if it's the same there, but down here I can kind of relate to what he's talking about, because whenever I was going through my abuse with my mom when I was a kid, and I was looking out for help, I was going to counselors, all sorts of stuff. They were telling me, you shouldn't say these things about your mom. You shouldn't speak out against. Oh, you're lucky to have your mom, so on and so forth. A lot of people down here in Texas, they really put the woman, especially the mother, on a high pedestal that can never be attained. That nothing they can do is wrong, and they kind of wear it as a sign of. A badge of honor and a sign of pride. Oh, do you know what a switch is? They would just pull you out into the front lawn and then beat you. And oh yeah, I had my time. To me, it's sickening, and yet everybody acts like that's totally normal. And when you experience somebody and parents and family who are so toxic and stuff like that, and when you're in a state like this, everybody projects their visions of their mother, they were totally fine. They can't do anything wrong, but it doesn't mean that your experience when you're wronged by your parents, it doesn't mean that it's not valid. Just because that somebody says oh, well, my experience with my mom was better, doesn't mean that your mom is better, So I really want to get that across to that guy from Texas and other people who are in a similar situation. Just because, other people may not identify with the same issues that you're going through doesn't mean that you're not going through it. And, kind of to echo something that you have said many, many a times, is just go internally, just seek solitude with God and get that peace. Nobody knows your life better than God. And nobody knows how you will be except yourself as well. And just be still with Him, And
the one thing I do
don't ever try to be perfect. Sorry.
You say what now?
Oh, no. I was just saying don't ever try to be perfect. But go on, you were saying?
That is happening around the world, and they try to make the mothers seem so wonderful because they are protecting evil, and they don't want evil to be revealed because they know if it's revealed, you're going to overcome it. And so that's why they put the woman on a pedestal to a point that you can't touch her. You can't tell her she's wrong or anything. But unless you do, you're never going to overcome it. Every human being walking this earth have to forgive their mothers and return to their father if they want to be free. And so when they're putting the woman on a pedestal, it's just evil protecting evil. But I'm glad you did it, man. What does your friend think about the change in you?
I don't really know. I don't really talk to him anymore.
Okay.
I think whenever I called in the show, he was just proud about it, and I mean, we just don't keep in touch.
Right.
He's in another state. So.
Okay.
But I wish the best for him. Yeah.
You stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and your mind will become clearer and clearer, and the light will guide you in ways that you can't even imagine. It would just happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say, if anything, like, I'm even being this way towards my girlfriend. I understand, like, women come from a fallen state, and, she's a great person too. Really, like, one out of a million and everything, but I can see a lot of what I experienced in her parents. Like, she's from Vietnam. Her parents, very controlling, and, they want her to take care of them, all that stuff. Very toxic, trying to put all their issues and all this stuff on her. And if she says no, she's going to go to hell, that sort of stuff. Right. And I try to tell her, just be still. They don't know God. They don't know anything. And, and I'll admit it is frustrating, but I try to lead an example and try to just be still, and I try to just tell her, like, hey, it's okay, and
what's
don't
great
get angry.
about her? What's great about her?
Mm-hmm.
You say she's great.
What's great about her?
Yeah.
I don't want to take too much time, but I mean, she is very calm. She rarely ever gets angry. And she never uses the word hate. She doesn't ever curse. She doesn't ever dress like provocatively or anything. She's virgin, and she wants to get married, and wants to do everything right. There's a variety of things, and it's very rare you find a woman that is like that.
Is she calmer than you?
Yeah, unfortunately so. Just because hearing what she's going through is definitely irritating, and for her to kind of get...
It's irritating to you or her?
Yeah. To me.
Why is it irritating to you?
Because it's like, because in my own, like, personal past and everything, it just, like, reawakens that emotions of just, like, well, you should do something about it, you should step away, and she... doesn't really listen to it. She feels bad, like, towards her parents, but tries to, like, stay calm. And, and unfortunately, I do get caught up in the moment and just go, well, you should say no.
You're not supposed to be
right.
weaker than her, man. What the?
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And I catch myself at times and just try to, like, go,
and does she obey you?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So she went and forgave her parents when you told her to?
Yes. She has forgiven her parents.
She went and forgave her parents?
Yes.
She did, for sure?
I'm sorry?
Are you sure she went and forgave her parents?
She did, and I was there, but she still lives with them, and so, that's still an existing, like, force.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah. So that's why, I'm trying to kind of, it's just try to be more calm and be a better person as well, and try to be a better force so that, like, she can obey me, but also, like, okay, this is how you should live, rather than having to be under the house of hatred and under the house of anger.
All right, but don't be feeling sorry for her, though. You're not supposed to take on someone else's pain.
You're right.
Because it's when you're feeling that way, it's about you. It's not about her. And then, because when you feel that way, you feel like it's another false identity. It makes you feel like you're a loving person, you're this, you're right, you're that. And we're not supposed to feel sorry for anyone.
Right.
All right. But amazing, Dylan. Stay with it, man. Stay with it. Stay with it, all right?
All right, you too, man. Have a great day.
All right, call me again. I got to run.
Yeah. Sorry.
Stay with it, all right?
All right.
All right, buddy. I'm out of time, folks. I was trying to get to the super chats. It occurred to me that we run out of time. That's why I had to go with Dylan all of a sudden there. I was trying to get to the super chats, but I have to wait until Monday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I do appreciate them, though. The Hake report is coming up now. He has a guest. the Hake Report from 9 to 11 a.m., 12 noon, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv at 4 p.m., The American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. And I'll see you at Fellowship on Sunday, 11 a.m. It starts. Doors open at 10:30 for all. You can watch it at rebuildingtheman.com if he doesn't want to come in. If you're not able to come into it, be there. rebuildingtheman.com. All right? Get on that straight and narrow path. Stay there. Be still and know the truth. Do the silent prayer. Go and forgive your mothers and your father. Return to your father. Stay there. When you've done all you can do to stay there some more. It's amazing. Greg out of New York, Rick out of Hampton, Giovanni, a first-time caller out of New York, and somebody just, Israel, I believe, just dropped. I'm out of time. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday. The Hake, H-A-K-E report is coming up now. You don't want to miss this guest. No Hake. Have a good one, folks.
You must know that so you get something went wrong, but
check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop all the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I asked, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.